Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So in this video, I'm going to take and show you and have some fun with a branching scroll that you can do and you can add to your ornamental ironwork. Now before we begin, I'm working with a 1/4 inch by 1 inch flat bar stock mild steel. This happens to be cold rolled mild steel. We are going to take and cut a slot in it that I have already done at the bandsaw, approximately 6 inches long. So in metric terms, this is a 6 mil by 25 mil flat bar stock mild steel, and we are cutting a 150 mil long slot. Now, the trick to this is we are not dividing this exactly in two. We are actually taking and coming in about 3/8 of an inch, or roughly 10 mil from one edge, and then that's where we're cutting the line 6 inches long or 150 mil long. Now I've already got that done, and I'm going to take and now put in what is called a convenience bin. I'm going to do the convenience bin on the small end of the bar stock, or the 3/8 inch bar stock. So I'm going to just tap just that part there and just tap it out of the way. That's what you call a convenience bin. The other portion of it, I'm going to draw down a little bit in a asymmetrical taper. Not a symmetrical taper, but an asymmetrical taper is how I'm going to draw this piece down. You'll see why this is important here in a minute. I will go over in detail the differences between symmetrical and asymmetrical tapers and how to achieve them at the anvil in a future video. So there we have it. We've got a asymmetrical taper. We're going to get that back in the fire, and we'll go ahead and light the forge back up and get it good and hot. This portion that I'm working on currently is going to become part of the scroll, and you'll see in the next couple heats we'll explain about why we chose to go the direction we did just as soon as this is hot again, and I come right back with you. Okay, so I've got the blower running on the forge. This will make this process a little bit quicker for me. I've got this piece heated back up. I will continue a little bit of an asymmetrical taper. And now we're going to explain the reason why I chose the direction I did. So this is going to be part of a scroll, and we are actually going to take and scroll this in the opposite direction. Much in the same way of like in a knife blade where you put a pre-curve bent towards the edge that you're going to end up making when it takes and curves back around. That is the reason for this. This will allow me to have a really nice square inside corner that isn't prone to just straightening out. And you'll see this in a minute when I go out, when I actually make this. So I will curve this now this way, start curving it this way, and then turning this into a bit of a scroll. But then, before it gets completely scrolled, I'm going to create what they call a bevel scroll, where I will take and forge the outside edge in a taper, therefore stretching that outside edge out and causing it to scroll around a little bit more. This will be a very attractive look for the top portion, and then the bottom portion I will turn eventually into a snub end scroll or something of the like. So I'll get this good and hot again, and we'll do that. Now while you're here, I'd like to say thank you for joining me here at Christ-Centered Ironworks. It's great to have you as part of the channel. If you're a long-time subscriber, thank you for coming back. And if you're a new subscriber, welcome to the channel. Here I'm all about teaching the fundamentals and the fundamentals of the trade of blacksmithing and the craft of blacksmithing, both in the business sense and in the technical sense of the word when it comes down to teaching basic or what I consider fundamental processes of the blacksmith. So welcome to the channel, and we're going to get into it. Now if you're interested in seeing a bevel leaf scroll video, I have made one. It'll be in the description down below, be all linked up, and I suggest you watch that. I go pretty in depth on how to make them and so on and so forth. All right, this is hot enough. So we're going to bend away. It's going to want to curve and go all crooked on you. That's okay. We're just going to straighten out that bend, and we're going to continue to scroll this right on around. Or just keep trying to scroll this up like we would do a regular scroll. Now, if you've never made a regular scroll before, I suggest you watch some of my videos on just making really basic scrolls and some of the math and kind of some of the figures behind making scrolls that I've produced on the channel. If I can, I'm sure my wife has a playlist on making scrolls linked up in the description. So again, there we go, a start of a curve. Now this is interesting enough in itself. It could look pretty neat, but we're going to put a bevel on that and turn this into a bevel leaf scroll. Learning how to do bevel leaf scrolls can be very entertaining and interesting to your work, like when you do finials where you use fleur-de-lis tops, things like that. Those are usually bevel leaf scrolls. You'll see a lot of bevel leaf scrolls in work that use quarter foils in gate work, things like that. Again, it's just a pretty scroll in my opinion. So we'll keep this good and hot. Hopefully I can make this quick. So now I'm going to go to the far side edge of the anvil, and I'm going to just hit and taper that outside edge. So as I aim for more of that outside edge and tapering it, this working from the back to the front, it's going to provide more curl on this scroll. Now the trick to this is to provide that bevel on that scroll without flattening your hammer like this. We're not trying to flatten this piece, we're trying to bevel this piece. So you just keep beveling that. And again, it gives it a lot more interest. That bevel in there, when done right, and you clean out all your little hammer blows, planish them up, it looks really nice. Okay, now that's at a black heat. I'll go ahead and heat that up one more time. So we'll get that good and going. I'll finish out taking out some of my hammer marks, and now we'll work on the second portion of our scroll. Also, for those of you out there wondering what that other portion was instead of the 3/8, what this scroll is being made out of, it's being made out of approximately 5/8 inch of material, or 16 mil. So the half that I'm working on, that's the bevel leaf, is roughly 16 mil of material. So it's not quite, but it's pretty close to. So we're just going to keep tapping that, working the angles of our anvil, and getting that all nice and done. And I'll give that just a little bit more of a curl around. Not that it needs it. There we have it. Now I got a wee bit of a flat in here. I got a wee bit of a flat in my scroll work. Hopefully you guys can see this. It's right in here before it curls fully. I don't like that, but for this demonstration it's fine. I'm not trying to keep you guys here all day. So now it's time to go ahead and work on our 3/8 inch bar there that was bent out at our courtesy angle. We are going to straighten this back out, because now that this is scrolled up, it's out of our way of the end of the bar that we need to work on, so we can straighten that piece of the bar back out. Paying attention to these little details. Again, this is fairly simple. All we did was split the bar off to one side. You don't have to do this with a bandsaw, although that's the easiest in my opinion. You could cut down with a chisel and split this out at the end of a bar. This could very easily become a very decorative fire poker of sorts. I mean, you could make this into just about anything that you can think of that would benefit from this type of finial. Maybe on the other end, instead of it being another scroll, you can make that the poker bit. Sky's the limit. Oh, all right. So we got that heated up. So I'm just going to knock that back straight. But I'm also going to give it out a little bit. I want to establish that nice curvature at that split a little bit. Just go ahead and establish that now while we're at it. So now we'll go ahead and draw out this little bit here at the anvil. You can also go to the horn here if you want to draw this out. I'm going to, however, create a snub at the end of this. So I'm going to want to basically not draw out too much material. I want to create the snub and then draw into the snub's corner there. So hopefully you all are enjoying this demonstration. If you enjoy videos like this and you would like to support what Jessica and I do here at Christ-Centered Ironworks, a great way of doing that and lending financial support is checking out our website over at blacksmithpdfs.com. It's a great place where you can pick up a power hammer plan bundle or an e-course on how to help you start your business around blacksmithing and get things started. And I highly encourage you to go check out the website. So this is good and hot. Bring it over the anvil, set about a cube of material. And we're going to create that little snub on the end. So we're going to back that into itself. Round this up. I have made a video on making snub end scrolls before, so I'm not going to go over that in detail right here, but you can go ahead and check out that as well in the playlist on making scrolls. The link to that will be in the description down below. So there we go, we got the little snub made on the end, and now we're going to go ahead and turn that into the scroll. So we'll get this good and hot. I've got the air really moving today in this blower. You'll have to excuse me if it sounds a little too loud. I'm probably going to go back for YouTube demonstration purposes to using green coal, just because I feel like it's a little bit easier to listen to. But it just wasn't overly convenient in my work today to do so, so that's why we're doing what we're doing. So, okay, so we're going to roll this up, start rolling it into a scroll-like form. We want to be really tight, get a really good tight bend right at that snub. And then we're going to roll up from there. We're going to have to take multiple heats at this, so this way we get this nice and even. Get one more heat on that, and here we go. Now, one thing I can say, a secret about anything that has a bend in it. So whatever your inside diameter is this an easy rule of thumb? You can use this quite effectively in a lot of cases in ornamental work. I use it all the time. It seams about 4 1/4 to 4 3/8 of an inch. So what is that? That would be 110 mil to 106 mil in length. Will take and wrap 1 inch of material, and it seems to hold true. So if it's 4 inches of material, it's 4x that. If it's half an inch of material, it's half that. I have seen that to be kind of true. Again, it kind of depends on the thickness of the bar that you're wrapping around the actual individual 1 inch rod, but from what I have found, this is accurate and is to be correct. Just a handy figure. So now we're going to take and roll this right on back and scroll it up like we would do any old scroll. Again, watching our negative spaces, making sure it's doing what we want it to do. And in my opinion, it looks a little nicer if you make sure that it doesn't line out perfectly symmetrical with the other scroll. It looks a little more well done, in my opinion. So there you have it. There's a simple split scroll or branching scroll you can do. You could add this to some chest hardware, make this part of a hinge, a decorative hinge you're working on, and it's just a simple little finial to put down at the end that you can use with a lot of different things. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to leave a like, and as always, consider subscribing and hitting that bell for notifications. And just like always, God bless you so much, and thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.